With blue jays, there's no shortage of interesting things they can do, including some pretty humorous behaviors many people aren't aware of. First, let's get a well-known thing about blue jays out of the way, the adorable and funny habit of theirs to pick up each peanut available to them before finally choosing the one. What is that all about, anyway? The likely reason these characters do that is to get a feel for how heavy the peanut is. A lot like how we choose the best fruit at the grocery store. By weight, they can tell how good the quality of the peanuts inside the shell are. Ones that are shriveled from over-roasting or from not growing right would be lighter and loose in the shell and have little nutritional value. Blue jays also tend to prefer peanuts that don't have cracks or holes in the shell. Most of the peanuts they collect are hidden away in the ground and trees for later feeding, sometimes weeks or months later. If the shell isn't perfectly sealed, moisture could get in and grow mold. When considering these reasons, it makes sense why blue jays have a hard time making up their mind. It all comes down to survival. And can we take a moment to appreciate Feisty Jay's attempt here to put each peanut he didn't want back neatly onto the tree? Another thing many people are familiar with seeing is the funny-looking behavior of blue jays to bob their body up and down. But not many people know why they do it. Both males and females do this, and it is often done while making certain calls, such as the familiar squeaky gait, and another call made only by females referred to as the rattle. When really into the bobbing up and down motion, their feet sometimes comes right off the perch. I guess that means they are very serious. The display seems to have a territorial function to it, as well as a courtship reason behind it. Using this gesture is how males get the attention of female jays that are watching. As single females watch males bobbing up and down, they can determine who is the top male. And of course, in the world of birds, a male jay whose bobbing up and down motion is strongest or best, that will tell the females his level of fitness. A strong male full of testosterone will better defend the territory and provide a safe home to raise the babies in. So, as humorous as it looks to us, for the blue jays, there's a real purpose to it. While it is the case that blue jays do nest in people's yards sometimes, more often they nest in the woods and are very secretive about it. To build a nest, a pair gathers nesting material, the typical stuff like sticks and roots. However, there are other items they collect that can be comical to see. Human-made stuff, like rope, string, straps, and other things like that. But not any old rope or strap will do. It has to be white. I've seen this on blue and squirrels' nests and other jays, but the first time I actually witnessed these birds collecting man-made material was from Sweet Blue, blue and squirrel's son. This happens more so from urban jays. In nesting areas not close to human activity, the jays will use light-colored vegetation instead, like bark. Whichever the case, it's added when nest building is done. I'm uncertain of the real reason behind why they do it, but I have read before that it probably breaks up the outline of the nest, helping to outwit any potential predators. So if you ever see blue jays going off with something like this, know that they are adding the finishing touches to their temporary baby home. As we all know, peanuts are a big favorite of blue jays, especially ones that are in the shell. And if they can, they will take as many as 2 and sometimes 3 at a time. One will go down into their throat pouch and the other into their bill. Pretty clever if you ask me. There is one thing about peanuts that certain individuals don't like though. This thing. The stringy rootlet that is sometimes left attached. For whatever reason, some jays don't like it and will make sure to tear it off before flying away with the peanut. The first jay I ever saw do that was Blue. He would rip it off every time before leaving. I've also seen Feisty Jays, Sweet Girl, Fiona, and Sweet Blue doing it. But not all individuals are bothered by this stringy thing. How interesting that some jays have these kinds of preferences. I wonder what it is that they don't like. Does the stringy piece feel gross in their throat, or does it get in the way when flying or hiding the peanut? I don't know what the reason is, but I'm sure that with these smart birds, there's some purpose for why. Normally, it is male birds who are aggressive, but with blue jays, females can be just as feisty. When frustrated with other jays intruding on her space, some females will do a kind of funny but interesting thing. First, they will fluff up their feathers to appear larger than they actually are, and then proceed to aggressively dig their bill down into the ground or at a tree. She's not looking for anything, and she's not hiding any food. The interesting thing is that only some females seem to do this though, the ones who are really assertive. It always happens when a jay, other than her mate, is intruding on her space, and it seems to be more commonly if it is another male, not so much if it's another female, although that happens too. And while it is hard to tell, males are slightly larger than females, and in some cases a lot larger, which means a female can get hurt badly if she picks a fight with one. So the workaround I think that the female seems to have in this kind of situation is to try intimidating the male instead, by making herself look larger and pound her bill into a tree or the ground. I guess the equivalent to people uttering threats while they punch their hand. There is no denying that these birds are some of the most animated and expressive. Seeing them behaving naturally in their own habitat is always a treat, just like when they are working hard to harvest hazelnuts for winter, something that can be quite the balancing act for them. See the jays in action in the video on the screen now. Thank you for watching. Happy birding. As if having to continuously keep balance wasn't enough, they also have to keep a watch out for any predators while performing this tricky task.